Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate jungle so you can invest smarter. Today we're looking at an amendment to a filing from Data Storage Corporation, and let's just say there was a little oopsie that needed fixing. This isn't your typical juicy financial report. But sometimes the little corrections tell a story of their own before we dive in. If you like getting the real scoop on companies without the jargon, make sure you subscribe. And hey, join our Discord community linked in the description for even more direct access and discussions with fellow finance enthusiasts. So what we have here is an amendment, meaning they're fixing something in a report they already filed. The original report was about some share tender offer stuff, and it seems there was a simple mistake in counting how many shares Mr. Schwartz offered up. A clerical error, they call it, which is corporate speak for someone messed up the paperwork a bit. It is not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but it does highlight how important accuracy is, especially when you are dealing with company shares. No major financial bombshells here, just a tidying up of the records. This form, the 8K, is generally for reporting big events that shareholders should know about right away, like mergers, acquisitions, or major leadership changes. This is an 8KDA, meaning it is an amendment to an earlier 8K. So instead of a whole new event, they are just correcting information previously reported. The date of the earliest event being reported here is the 14th of January, 2026. Let's look at what Data Storage Corporation actually does. They focus on common stock, which is basically ownership in the company, and also warrants, which are like options to buy that stock later. The par value is a very small amount, $0.001 per S-share. This is common for many companies and doesn't really reflect the actual market value of the shares. These securities are traded on the Nasdaq Capital Market, a US stock exchange. The main event that this amendment is tied to is a tender offer. Think of a tender offer as a company asking its shareholders to sell their shares back to the company at a specific price. It is a way for companies to buy back their own stock. In this case, on the 15th of January 2026, the company actually bought back a significant number of shares. They bought back over 5.6 million shares. That is a lot of ownership being consolidated back into the company. They spent nearly $30 million to do it. And what is the result of this buyback? After this purchase, the company is left with about 2.1 million shares of stock still out there for the public to own. This is a big reduction from what they likely had before, and they also have around $10 million in cash remaining. A stock buyback can be a signal that management believes the stock is undervalued, or it can be a way to increase earnings per share by reducing the number of outstanding shares. Now, this is where we get into who inside the company participated in this tender offer. The filing lists the directors and officers of Data Storage Corporation and how many shares they offered to sell back to the company on the 14th of January. 2026, we see names like John Arjun with 57,207 shares, Matthew Grover with 43,340, and Thomas Kempster offering a large number 881,472 shares. Charles Peluso, who is the Chief Executive Officer, also offered a substantial amount, 865,841 shares. Harold Schwartz, the person whose share count was corrected, offered 895,876 shares. This table shows us that the leadership of the company was actively participating in the buyback, selling a portion of their own holdings. This can be seen in different ways. Some might see it as leadership cashing out, while others might view it as them participating in a company initiative they believe in, selling shares at what they presumably considered a good price. The filing also mentions that a press release is attached as Exhibit 99.1. Press releases are usually how companies communicate important news to the public and to investors. In this case, it is likely detailing the results of the tender offer. It is worth noting that they say this press release is for informational purposes only, which is standard legal language to manage expectations. They provide information on how investors can get more details. You can find the original offer to purchase and other legal documents on the SEC's website, or directly from the company. This is all part of the transparency required in the stock market, ensuring investors have access to the information they need. And finally, the report is signed by Charles M. Peluso, the Chief Executive Officer, on the 16th of January 2026. This signature confirms that the company stands behind the information provided in this amended filing. Overall, this filing for Data Storage Corporation is a correction to a previous report, specifically fixing a typo related to Mr. Schwartz's shares tendered. The core event it refers to is a significant share buyback by the company, reducing the number of outstanding shares and consolidating ownership. While there are no deep financial tables here to analyze for growth or decline, the buyback itself is a strategic move. It suggests the company's management believed their own stock was a good investment at that price, or they are trying to boost financial metrics like earnings per share. It is interesting to see the company's top executives participating by selling their own shares, which could be interpreted in various ways. It is not a sign of deep financial trouble, but rather a strategic maneuver. The primary takeaway is accuracy in reporting and a corporate action aimed at managing its own shareholder base. What are your thoughts on this share buyback and the role of leadership in it? Do you think this strategy signals confidence or something else? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more insights, and don't forget to join our Discord community for more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next decoding.